So welcome. Yeah, Manchester United against West Ham at the London Stadium, of course. So I guess it is West Ham United against Manchester United, and we got the lineups. Reaction to the lineups. I wanted to do a preview, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because you know there was a lot to say after Tuesday. So it's good to sometimes it's good to hold your tongue. My mom always told me if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So yeah, sometimes it's good to hold your tongue. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it and look at the starting 11 and react to that. And yeah, go over prediction. Of course, I predicted a 2-1 to Man United. I'm just gonna keep it anyway. Even though looking at the starting 11, we might be in problems because yeah, they're back. They're back. All those of you who have been celebrating on the internet, on TikTok and on Snapchat, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, well, you can stop celebrating now because they are back. They are back. McFred is back. So yeah, celebrate no more. Start crying again. Get those blankets and start crying into them because yeah, McFred is back. And but David De Gea starts in goal. No surprise with that one. Henderson's still not fit. I'm pretty sure when Henderson is, he's just gonna pencil in because that's what he does. Wan-Bissaka starts on the right. So if you were hoping that Dalot is going to get some minutes before the Champions League games, I told you that's probably not going to happen. Maybe he will play in the Carabao Cup, but I don't see him playing in the Premier League. I kind of agree with him not playing in this one, but I don't even see him playing against Aston Villa, even though he probably needs to play against West Ham now in the Carabao Cup and Aston Villa next weekend, so he can get ready for the next for the Champions League games that's coming up the week after. This coming week, so you just know he's not going to do that. You just know he's going to, play him in the Carabao Cup and then just throw him into the Champions League game and tell him to perform at a high level after giving him no high level minutes. You just know that's what he's going to do. Wan-Bissaka starts on the right, Shaw starts on the left, Maguire and Varane in centre back. Well, that back five is pretty much set up all the time. And then, yeah, like I said, they're back in midfield. They're back. McFred, Scott McTominay, who is still struggling. I'm pretty sure with injuries, he's been shunted right back into the team. And Fred keeps his place. So yeah, from Tuesday, Van der Beek and Fred were the ones in midfield that started. And yeah. Van der Beek is the one who got subbed out after 45 minutes. Van der Beek is the one who played better in the 45 minutes that they played together. Van der Beek was the one who hasn't got many minutes this season, but Fred is the one who keeps his place after not being able to pass a paper bag and being able to pass a salt. He's the one who keeps his place. McTominay comes in for Van der Beek, and yeah, McFred is back. Like I said, yeah, it goes on, and going further forward. At right wing, we don't have a £74 million man. We have Mason Greenwood, who has been on fire this season, no doubt, with the 3 goals in 4 games. Mason Greenwood starts on the right. Not Sancho, not the man who we spent £74 million, not the man who we prioritized over signing the center defensive mid that we needed for sure. Not that man. Mason Greenwood starts on the right so that we can start Paul Pogba on the left. Because we have to play McFred in midfield. So Paul Pogba has to start on the left, which means Greenwood can't start on the left, which means Sancho can't start on the right. So Sancho's out of the team again. He's out on the bench. Bruno Fernandes is center attacking mid, and Ronaldo is the striker. And yeah, these I'm just gonna say it now. These changes, like these substitutions and these starting 11s, can't keep happening. If you're the Man United board, I implore you to actually, do some research on football and try to learn what the game is, because this is not acceptable. Your manager is not good enough. I don't care if we win this game 5-0, 6-0. This is not a good enough starting 11. This is not a good enough starting 11. This was not the right decision. You can't play McFred again, and turn around and tell me, oh, well, yeah, we have so many options now in midfield. He's going to keep playing McFred now. Unless there's an injury or suspension for them, he's going to play them all the time now. He's going to keep playing them now all the time. Unless in the Carabao Cup, then he's going to play Van der Beek and Matic. He's going to keep playing this team over and over again now. Sancho can't get in the team in the starting 11. He might play him in the Carabao Cup, and then that'll be enough to not play him again for the next 3 games or so, or stay playing him from the bench. Martial can get in the team. Jay Links is probably going to get in the team in this game. You watch. When he makes his changes, if we're going to sub in Jay Links before he subs in Sancho or Martial, that's what's going to happen. You just watch that. I promise you, that's what he's gonna do. You know, we're talking about, oh, we want to win the title, we want to win the league. You can't win the title with McFred. I promise you, you're not winning I don't care how many goals Ronaldo is going to score, how many goals Bruno is going to score, how many goals Pogba is going to assist. You know, what Greenwood's going to do, what Sancho is going to do if he can get in the team, what Martial is going to do if he can get in the team, what Rashford is going to do when he gets back. It doesn't matter what those players are going to do. It doesn't matter what your fullbacks are going to do. It doesn't matter what your goalkeeper is going to do. It doesn't matter what your centre backs are going to do. That midfield is not good enough to win the Premier League. That's a fact. That midfield is not good enough to even win a lot of games in the Premier League, because we're going up against, let's look at their starting 11. They don't have Antonio, but we're going up against Declan Rice and Tomas Soucek in their midfield. That's who we're going up against. No way is our team, our midfield, anywhere near that quality of West Ham's midfield. West Ham. Not talking about City's midfield. Not talking about Chelsea's midfield. Not talking about Liverpool's midfield. Not talking about Tottenham's midfield. We're talking about West Ham's midfield here. West Ham. We're talking about West Ham's midfield, and our midfield is nowhere near the quality. I didn't even mention Leicester City. Look, we played Southampton in week 2, and their midfield was better than our midfield, on paper and in the game. And we didn't even have McFred then, and our midfield was still not on their level. This cannot keep happening. He said he was fine with his team. That's fine, but then stop picking McFred. Stop doing that, because it didn't work last season, and it wasn't just because of the fact that we had Lindelof and Maguire as centre backs. It didn't work last season because these two are not compatible. They're not. They're good enough to play individually with one other player that's, you know, a specialist as a CDM, or a specialist. No, they're good enough to play with that one player that can actually complement them. These two do not complement each other. They do not. They're one player. We're one man down now. We're 10 men playing against. Like, we were 10 men and we defended against Young Boys. So what are we gonna have to do? We're probably gonna have to defend this game because we're one man down already. Because neither one of those players is complete enough to play in that midfield. That's why Pogba gets put on the left side, and that's why Sancho isn't in the team. And the funniest part is, even if Pogba was in that midfield, he probably would have played Lingard out there. He wouldn't have put Martial in there. He wouldn't have put Sancho on there. He would have played Lingard still. That's the problem. That's the issue with this guy. You got Van der Beek on the game, on the defense that can't get in, on the bench that can't get in the team for longer than 45 minutes. And then you got Sancho, who you signed for 74 million for whatever reason, since you don't want to use him, obviously. And then you're playing Greenwood in the right wing because you can't play him as a striker because you have Ronaldo now, and you have Cavani, who when he comes back he can get many minutes because you have Ronaldo now. You have Rashford, who's when he comes back, what are you gonna do with Paul Pogba? That's the problem. Our squad is imbalanced. You said, oh, we have so many City midfield options. Sell some players. Sell some players. Get Fred out of the team. He's not good enough. Get him out. Get McTominay out if you want to do that. You're probably not going to do that because an academy graduate and you're obsessed with academy graduates. Then get Fred out of the team because he's not. What's the obsession? You have to sign players that are good enough. They're not good enough, so they have to go. If they are making the team imbalanced, then you gotta sell them because that's also gonna give you more money. How are you gonna move forward? You can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna change my tire because I have a tire. I have a spare tire that's already ripped, but I have a spare tire." But it's not good enough to ride for you to switch in because you can't use it because it's ripped. So how can you use that as an excuse for not getting a new tire? How does that make any sense? Anyway, you know, whatever. I've already started. What's that? The game hasn't even started. Like I said, it doesn't matter about the result, honestly, to be honest with you. I just think that this lineup is unacceptable. I just think that, you know, this manager doesn't know what he's doing. He's clueless, and he has to change. He has to improve if he wants to stay in this job, which he shouldn't have. He should have never got the job in the first place in 2019. He's had the job for years and years now. He's gonna be in December. It's gonna be 3 years since we brought him in on an interim basis. 3 years, and people are still telling me about progress, improvement. No. He's not good enough. That's just a fact. And the fact that we persist with this nonsense, we just have to keep hoping that somehow, some way, something, the light bulb is gonna light up, and somehow, some way, he's gonna turn into, you know, a manager that's actually capable of making decisions. Because this isn't good enough. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable at this club. This is not acceptable at most clubs in the Premier League. He wouldn't last anywhere near this long if it was at any other club. And you can say, oh, whoa, yeah, that's like saying if Batman wasn't in the Batman movie, it wouldn't be good. But it's not like saying that because he wouldn't. That's a fact. The only reason we're keeping him in is because he's a club legend. And that is not good enough. That's not a good enough reason to keep someone in the club. Oh, well, we don't have anybody on board. That doesn't matter. You do scouting then. You have managers that you can get into the club. You do have them. Don't sit there and give me an excuse of, oh, well, yeah, but we don't really have anybody that we can bring in now if we do that. But no. You should have never given him the job in the first place in 2019. You turned around and did give him the job permanently, and now you're in problems. And now you want to turn around and use that as an excuse for why you can't get rid of him. But that doesn't make any sense. It's the tire thing again. Oh, I have a tire, even though it's ripped. I have a tire, spare tire, so I can't get a new one. But that one's ripped, so it's not really a tire now, is it? Because you can't use a ripped tire on the road now, can you? Anyway, this is gonna take me forever to upload, so I probably stop talking. And yeah, we'll see you at the end of the game. Player ratings. Hopefully, if I can get my internet to work and get my be able to watch the game. Player ratings, match reaction, all coming up later on. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.